I want to start with this news conference by speaking about an operation we just conducted in Spring Hope, North Carolina. During this operation, several members were arrested from the Spring Hope community. Operation Spring Cleaning was conducted. It was an over a year investigation, and it come to a head on Sunday night or Monday morning about 5 o'clock in the morning when we started arresting individuals. There were 21 subjects arrested for drug violations, ranging at all types of narcotics. 14 subjects had prior drug arrest. 5 subjects had been arrested for weapon charges in the past. 5 were convicted felons out on our streets selling drugs again. 2 were arrested, were already on probation and still conducting criminal activity, and 1 was a registered sex offender. Spring Hope was a community that in the last year we've had a spike in gun-related crimes and the use of drugs. But I want to thank the community of Spring Hope, bringing it to the Sheriff's Office and also Spring Hope Police Department, and allowing us information and having support of our office when we were working the operation to provide us information. The Tar River Task Force was the agency responsible for this, and the agents that were here represent those different offices that assist in this, from Nashville Police Department, State Bureau of Investigation, Alcohol Law Enforcement, Edgecombe County Sheriff's Department, Nash County Sheriff's Department, Spring Hope Police Department, and also Tarboro Police Department. All of them worked in unison together to help bring this investigation to where we're at today. Any questions?
Any guns or drugs seized?
We did. We did 1 search warrant, and that was actually in Wilson County, and 2 weapons were seized during this investigation. However, during this investigation, several members did possess weapons during the sales and the delivery of controlled substance, but at the time of the arrest, they were not armed, and we did not seize any weapons besides the 2 that we seized on this date. Those individuals are listed, and I think that you've got the sheet that we've got of the different individuals and what their bonds were and what the actual charges were and how many times they're actually charged in the investigation.
Sheriff, could you talk to us briefly about the gang affiliations here? I understand that many of the individuals in Spring Hope had gang connections or were gang members. Could you speak to that briefly?
I can. A lot of this does come back to the use of gangs and the guns and the drugs, and that's where the violence stems from. What we got to remember is that there was 21 people here. That is a large pickup for a community, but you got to remember, out of thousands of people in the community, these are the 21 people that were responsible for selling drugs. There's a few more that we're conducting investigations on at this time, but the gang affiliation, you got to always remember that gangs, guns, and drugs all run together. If they weren't selling drugs and they weren't conducting criminal activity, they wouldn't be a gang. And this is a rise, it's across the nation, a rise with gangs, and it's something that we take very seriously here, and we try to keep intel on it, and obviously we try to understand the different cells that are working in our communities. But across America, all communities, for the most part, have some type of gang activity.
I think you believed the other day there were around 26 or 27 individuals you were looking for. Do you expect to make more arrests once you find them? Or?
We do. I think we've got at least 3 at this time that we're still looking for, and there will be cases that are coming. Also, you have to remember that we're going to use the conspiracy laws where during interviews and things of that nature, something else might come up. So just because we've made an arrest in this don't mean it's over. Obviously, when we're doing these investigations, other stuff might come up, and that's where we look to make more charges.
You had mentioned this was a year-long investigation. I guess given all the time that y'all put into it, are you satisfied with the results?
I'm satisfied. I'm disheartened to know that 21 of our youth are in the community, or young people are actually selling drugs. the community and especially young people need to recognize, you know, they see all the videos and see all the rap shows and see the social media of promoting drug sales and that it's some glamorous thing. But at the end of the day, when you're out here living like this, putting your family at a risk, being in the presence of other drug dealers, other people that's wielding firearms, and there's violence between the different groups, and you've been selling drugs for a year, and you can't make a $500 bond at the end of the operation, it tells these young people there's no money in these drugs. You're not going to win, and eventually something's going to happen. These young people will be stigmatized the rest of their life with a drug conviction, a felony. They can't possess a firearm. They have issues when they go to vote. I mean, it just takes a lot of their citizenship away from them. Young people need to recognize this before they get out here doing this today.
I notice the U.S. Marshal's Office standing in the back here. Is there any chance that some of these cases could be prosecuted federally?
Always, there's that possibility that if we find that there's a nexus with the federal laws, that an investigation may be conducted and it end up in federal court. Obviously, drug laws in itself is in some way attached to a federal violation, and if they find that there is a strong nexus there and it deems one that's for community betterment, it can easily end up there. Gangs, guns, and drugs all go back and ultimately can land in the federal system. But for this time, it's state charges. Anybody else? Chief, anything y'all want to allow?
No, I'd just like to thank the Sheriff's Office and this task force. As I've said before, this is a collaboration of teams, agencies, both state and local, and that's the only way we're going to combat this problem on narcotics is to be able to attack it from all sides. Narcotic dealers don't sell by themselves. They have groups. We also have groups too, and we're here to combat that problem.
All right, if no more questions, we'll conclude this. And obviously, if you need to get a list of who and the charges, that's the most updated list we got. And if you got any questions, let us know. Thank you.